Hey, what's up, brother? It's your boy Jay. I just wanted to give you guys a story time and let you guys know how I met the rapper that we know now as Drake. I'm originally from the West Coast. I'm from the Bay Area. I went to college here in the Bay Area in Northern California, and eventually I moved out to New York City for graduate school. And I was living on Wall Street my first year of graduate school. And we were living on the 36th floor, which is one floor below the penthouse. So it was pretty cool. We had a really nice view. If the Twin Towers were still there, you could see them. Anyway, I digress. So I'm a Cali boy in a new city where I don't know no one. And it's the first day of school. And it's pretty much just meet your teachers, your professors, your doctors, and get your syllabus. And there were a lot of social events planned for first years. And one of them was to go to this bar on the west side. I forgot the name, but I think it was like on 10th Avenue and maybe in the 20s. So what's that place called? Anyway, we went to this club. And here in the Bay Area, most of us, if we go clubbing, if we go to the bar, we're usually there by like 10 o'clock because there's like drink specials until like 11 o'clock. Usually no cover, free drinks for ladies. And sometimes we usually pregame Dave & Buster's. So usually here in the Bay Area, we would probably meet up around 9:30, pregame at Dave & Buster's, head out to downtown, and then go to the club. And last call during my time was usually 1 o'clock in the morning. So you had to be out of the club by 2 a.m. That's when they closed. But in New York City, it's a little bit different. People, if you're like cool and if you're like in the scene, you don't show up until like midnight or later. So, of course, me and the rest of my California classmates, we get there super early and we're already, having a good time. And finally, everyone else comes up and we all have a good time. We get to know each other. And again, it's the first week of school. So in our class, we had 4 Canadians. And I thought something that was really cool for me to connect with my Canadian classmates was to mention Degrassi. If you don't know what Degrassi is a long-running TV show based on teenagers at a local high school. In the beginning, it was a middle school. It was the first time I ever watched it was when I was growing up in the late 80s, early 90s. And then they did a revival based on previous characters from the first time that they ran the series. So it was cool to see the progression of the show. But anyway, there was a character on the show. His name in real life is Aubrey Graham, and he played Jimmy. Jimmy was an all-star basketball player that eventually gets shot in the back by an irate student and became a hemiplegic, so he was in a wheelchair. He was one of the main characters, but the very main character, I think her real name in real life is Miriam something, and basically she played Emma Nelson. The original series, she was the baby of a teenage mom. That was the storyline. So there was a there was a teenager in the original series who had unprotected sex and eventually had a baby. And when they revived Degrassi, The Next Generation, the baby in the first series became the main character of the new series. To put everything back together, we're at the club and we're having a good time. And I start talking to my Canadian classmates about Degrassi. Do you watch it? Have you been to the school? Is there really a Degrassi Street and all of this? And of course they tell me it's all fictional, but they have been to the school where Degrassi is filmed. So we start talking about Degrassi Junior High. That's the first one. We start talking about Degrassi, and then Degrassi The Next Generation. And out of the corner of my eye, I spot like two people walking with like an entourage, and I'm like, that guy looks so familiar. And they get closer, and me and my friends are literally at a bar around top, and here's the bar. So this is where you get the drinks, and we're at one of the tables right here. And one of them, there were four of us, and one of them was one of my Canadian classmates. And he turns to me, he's like, Jay, do you know who that is? I'm like, who? What are you talking about? He's like, right there. And I was like, oh shoot, it's Jimmy and Emma. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's the kids from Degrassi. And then all of a sudden we see all the other kids from Degrassi. And so me and my classmate, we jump on it. We are like, hi, we're big fans. We watch Degrassi. How are you? Why are you here in New York? We're grad students here. It's our first week here. We're not originally from New York City. It's so nice to meet you. And we definitely were just fangirling out and freaking out. And they were so nice and so gracious. Very down-to-earth people. And so we took a picture with Emma. And then we took a picture with Aubrey Graham. Aubrey Graham turns out to be Drake. So this is right when Drake started his music. He was still just known as an actor from Canada, from Degrassi, The Next Generation. And I don't even think he had a song out. I think he was working on his very first song or EP. And we were able to snag a picture with Drake. And it's in our yearbook, and it's going to last forever. And that is the first time that I ever met Drake. And he is so cool. That was back in 2006. It's 2018 now. That's 12 years ago. So that's my story time for the day. Graduate school in New York City is amazing. So if you're ever thinking of college and where you want to go, if you have the opportunity to leave home, definitely do it. I went to my regular college, undergrad, here in Northern California, and it was only 2 hours away from home. So I would go home every weekend, and I never felt like I had the real college experience until I moved to New York City for graduate school. And I lived on Wall Street, I lived in the East Village, and then I lived back on Wall Street. I didn't want to do any of the other boroughs, because my school is located in Midtown. So I wanted to have the full like New York City experience, and it's an experience that I would do in a heartbeat again. But would I ever practice out there, or would I ever live out there? No. I'm purely a Northern California Bay Area kind of guy. New York City was a great 4-year stop, and that's pretty much it. That's it. 4-year stop, and I'm done. That was good enough for me. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed the story time. You guys Be well, and I will talk to you guys on the next one. Peace.
Gotta be real with it. Yeah. Kiki, do you love me? Are you riding? Say you never ever leave from beside me. Cause I want you, and I need you. And I'm down for you always, KB.